Moving on, we've got Kansas City going into Jacksonville. Take on the Jaguars. Wayne, who are you picking here?
This might be my hot take, but I got the Jaguars. Kelsey. He's been a little bit busy. I've been hearing now. He's been dating Taylor Swift over there or something like that. So meanwhile, like the Kansas City Chiefs have been struggling a little bit on offense. The wide receivers dropping balls, turning into pick sixes. I know I had a lot of high hopes. I think on Sky Moore, he dropped or I think he had 3 targets, no receptions there. So um, yeah, somebody's gonna have to step up on the wide receiver department, whether it's Watson or MVS gets a little bit more of the workload. We'll see how effective Travis Kelce is. I mean, 80% effective Travis Kelce is still like a Hall of Famer, right? So at that tight end position, Owen Gray was probably their best wide receiver, I think, this past game. But man, like just not a good showing. They had moments where they could have pulled off the victory, but yeah, the wide receivers did not show up. Tony, man, like again, week one, let's not panic, but that was just not a good showing. Jaguars, they had some up and downs in that game, against the Colts, but like I mentioned before, I think the Colts they can definitely be kind of that surpriser team, but I think maybe in the later half of the season, I think Anthony Richardson's just going to get a little bit more seasoning. I think down. A little bit more comfort with the passing game. Showed pretty good numbers overall. I think this pass game for Anthony Richardson, but yeah. Again, going back to the Jags and the Chiefs, I think I saw a lot of bright spots. I think for the Jags, obviously some things to clean up, but at home, that's definitely where I feel like get some of that home cooking against the Chiefs. Chris Jones, I don't know how effective he's gonna be. Again, I was kind of mentioning before, not getting too many reps from training camp. Like I don't know if he's at playing shape at the moment. Still can be an effective player there on the defensive side, but just a lot of question marks, I think. And then yeah, Kelsey again. How effective is he going to be physically? How mentally? Again, Taylor Swift. Sorry for all the Swifties out there, but just not the best track record. Not the best track record, I think. With there, not a Kardashian at least, but still not the best track record there. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel for me, maybe I'm going off of the recency bias of the Chiefs. I know it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs going down 0-2, defending champs, right? With a similar team as they had last season. I just feel like the Jags, Doug Peterson, right? Trevor Lawrence, I think, played pretty well overall. And had seemed like he had good rhythm with Calvin Ridley. Probably would like to see if he can get a better rhythm too with Christian Kirk a little bit more so, but we'll see on that. And on the defensive side too, if they can get a turnover, maybe similar to like I don't know if Patrick Mahomes passes to Tony again and he misses the ball again or something like that, that could be a big thing too. So, but yeah, for me, I don't know. I'm gonna go with yeah, Jaguars pulling off the upset here. I think they're +3. Might take that those odds there. So
Yeah, I'm going right there with you, man. I'm actually yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about the Jaguars. You know, this is a revenge game for them. They got knocked out by the Chiefs last year. They quickly get to kind of redeem themselves here at home. Obviously, like you said, like they didn't come out on fire against Indy, but still happened to beat them by 10 points at the very end. I too would like to see Kirk get more involved. I still, obviously didn't have many targets, but hey, Calvin Ridley had a show out game. So did Zay Jones. So it's a little bit understandable. I also like just having Bigsby and Etienne kind of pairing off in the backfield. Etienne, especially in the receiving game, like they have a very dynamic offense. Trevor Lawrence is taking another step. I mean, he is getting more comfortable at being, like a franchise cornerstone there. And at home, energized by their fans, I think they'll really come out and show out. And, my thing with KC, I mean, you mentioned Kelsey and Jones. I mean, those are two kind of question marks and very important question marks for KC. I mean, those are arguably like they're two other most important players after, Patrick Mahomes. Those two guys aren't fully there, fully healthy. Like that is a huge loss for them. And, you got to give Casey a lot of credit for only losing to Detroit by 1 point, when you think about it, because I'm really unimpressed with this roster. I'm really unimpressed. I mean, the defense itself came into this year kind of ranked around, the top 20 by most, respected rankings. Without Chris Jones, I think they're bottom seven, bottom eight in the league for sure. Um, but I even think more so than that, like when you do look at the wide receiver weapons now, it's a little scary, man. I mean, I feel like you can kind of count on MVS to be a solid wide receiver three, but we don't really know what Sky Moore's role is, like you said. We don't know, what you're going to get from Rashid Rice every night. I mean, Tony, that was an aberration. That was awful. I mean, that was just the effort, the jittery, ness in his game. I mean, it just seemed like he was scared to get the ball. He was scared to be out there, and he was making huge mistakes. I mean, a pick six had a huge drop, at the end that probably would have, had them almost. They probably would have won the game had he made, one of those big catches in open space from Pat Mahomes and stuff. So I don't really know what to expect with the running game. It's like, Pacheco was fun last year, but he didn't have a great game to show out in the first game. And McKinnon's getting older. CEH, we don't really know what he is either. So it feels like there's just all this pressure on Patrick Mahomes to be, the Michael Jordan of football, and he pretty much is. But I mean, to go up against, playoff teams and just expect Patrick Mahomes to be able to do it, on his own, I mean, it's unsustainable. I think he gets his first win against the Bears in week 3, but yeah, I think the Jaguars take care of business at home.
Yeah, no, hey, look, we're on agreement on this now. Of course, just our luck and everything. Maybe the Chiefs make a blowout out of this, but no, I mean, honestly, like, there's this Jaguars team. Yeah, going against a very, in my opinion, it was an underrated, I think, Colts team, who showed pretty good, all around team effort. Like they had a pretty good defensive pass rush, etc., against Trevor Lawrence. So. They still have a lot of defensive talent, yeah, with Shaq Leonard over there as well. So for me, it was just, I think it was a good showing from the Jaguars, not the best showing of the Chiefs. That being said, it's still the Chiefs. They still can make some crazy plays there, some game-changing plays there. And, with Travis Kelce, at least, possibly being back and everything, like that could put them over the hump. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the Jags, the momentum's a little bit more in their favor at the moment.